I would like to tell you how we came from there, being two, or actually one more, so being three people, to our company that's existing now, with headquarters in Berlin and a branch here in Wrocław. We now are over 30 people, and we raised more than €1 million in funding. We acquired quite some governmental funds. So I want to show you how we raised and started that company and brought it where it is now. And especially since the topic here is marketing, I want to show you how marketing evolved in these different stages and what we did there. But since it's a 3D printing company, and 3D printing is pretty cool, and you can print really a lot of cool things, at the same time I'm going to show you some really nice pictures about stuff we printed. So basically this is one of our first projects. It's like a model that high that we printed for a company here in Poland. And yeah, as you see, this is something that's really, really cool. And when I first saw the printouts that we did and how they really came out of a machine, and they are really fine and nice printouts, that really got me hooked up to 3D printing. So I'm still having all that fascination when I see new projects that we do, and it's really, really cool to have a product that you like. So 3D printing, how does that work? First, you need a design. It can be done in many ways. You can use a CAD program, you can download something from a database, you can have an app where you sculpt things. Anyway, you need a 3D design. Later, what you do, you process these data, right? It needs to be changed, it needs to be adjusted so that it is actually usable for a 3D printer. And last but not least, you put it into a 3D printer. So you send it to the machine, and the machine, hopefully, if you've done your job properly, puts and prints what you wanted before. Now, that seems pretty easy, but when we started the whole thing, it came a lot of questions. I don't want to go into all these technical details, but preparing a 3D print isn't that easy. You must know which file formats can I use, what design rules are there, how do I actually make something that's printable, what is wall thickness, what are faces, solids, how can I analyze if my print works? Which software can I use to do so? What people have printers? Should I buy my own printer? Should I hire someone else's printer? Who is the best printing company? So all these questions, they came up in the beginning, and Alex and myself, we walked around the world and we found out these questions, we solved them one by one, and we realized that in the end, what we should be our first real business is to have a 3D printing service for architects. So around 2.5 years ago, Alex and myself, we were here in Wrocław. I don't really remember why we were here, but he set up some meetings. We went to some architectural companies, and we asked them, hey, how do you do your models, and do you want to try to print them, and we'll solve everything for you. It was pretty a lot of manual work, but that in the times then, it seemed to be like our logic thing to do, to just go there and really just talk to the people and ask them, and then try to solve all their problems. Now, this doesn't really go forward. Yes, it does. Okay, so how did we do marketing in the beginning when we were just 3 people and we didn't have a lot of experience? You might know this, friends, fools, family. That's something, it comes from an investing point, right? That's the first investors. You ask your parents, you ask your friends, if they give you some money to start the company. But also it works in sales and in marketing. So friends, fools, family. Friends, I went to my friends. I was thinking, okay, we have this 3D printing service for architects. So who of my friends are architects? Maybe I just call them up. I go there, I get a nice cup of coffee. Some of them worked in university, some of them worked in companies. And actually someone bought something from us. It was pretty shit, it was pretty crap in the beginning. He didn't pay for it, but it didn't matter because it really got us going and got us moving forward. Fools. So some companies, they happen to, like, we got to know them, we got to speak to them, like the companies who visited here in Wrocław, but it was just random, right? It was not really a specific plan or a strategy. And then family, of course. Like I asked all the people in my company, in my family, I asked them, so do you need something printed, or do you know someone? Maybe here, Dad, maybe you have a friend from your tennis club that you can introduce me to that is maybe working in a company. And so we got our first clients and we got our first things. And it was really, really important at this point of stage because we learned so much. You learn nothing. You never learn more than if you just go out and try to sell. And it doesn't matter if in the end they don't pay you, or if the price is very little or whatever. It's just important that you sell. You don't give it for free, you sell, but you just go out and do it. And we solved all these questions that I told you before. Now, the company evolved, we started to become more professional, we started to hire our first people, and this is some really interesting projects that we later acquired, and I just want to show you the real cool things that you can do with 3D printing. So this, for example, is big machines that were built by Siemens in this kind, or Fuji Electric. This is an energy cell, a fusion cell, what was it called in English? This is a steam turbine. So they have really huge products, and they have a problem showing that to their customers. They can't bring these huge products. They cannot bring it to a fair. So we said, hey, we can make some printouts for you, and you can show that to your customers. It's maybe cooler, and they thought so as well. So they bought it from us. That is companies that have very difficult products. For example, this is a company that analyzes water. And in a dwell, and from analyzing the water, they can say the dwell is in a good or in a bad condition. And we printed some dwell in a very bad condition, so they can show to their clients what they actually do. This is fair stands, so that was really cool. We went to a fair, and we convinced the German Ministry of Science and Education to have a 3D fair stand in front of their real fair stand, right? So people can go there and they can see what is happening, where's which thing that you can see. So it was pretty cool. And we also did architectural models, right? So actually this is also a very nice and interesting thing. You see already then our thing kind of shifted a little bit, right? We were supposed to do architectural stuff, now we do everything, and we have machinery and so on. But it was fine. They paid us money, so we took them. It didn't matter if they weren't exactly in line with our strategy. And but we also did some architectural stuff. So this is from APA. Is it from Wrocław here? Warsaw. Okay. So we got to some of our first clients in Warsaw. And this is a really cool thing. The round thing there. That's a theater where you sit, and while the play is going on, the whole stage turns, and you see a different screen in front of you. And they made this model, and it also turns. And yeah, it was quite cool. And they won the contract thanks to our beautiful model. So that is some of the customers we got, and some of them had really big names, some of them had small names, so it didn't matter. We took everybody. And this is a project we did a little bit later, where really it was very beautiful to see how we can combine different 3D printing technologies. So the middle part, which is from metal, is we printed it in a thing called alumide. It's a mixture of nylon and aluminium powder. And that looked very metal-like. And the outer parts, they had paint on them, so we also painted them. So we made this model. It's maybe that size, and now it flies around the world for different fairs that Siemens brought it to. And they use it for marketing purposes. So we realized in the beginning we didn't really know what to use 3D printing for, and just while going on we saw, okay, actually people need it for doing marketing. That's pretty cool. Then another thing that we did, this is a wind turbine here. This is the wing of a wind turbine, and this company, it's Fraunhofer, one of the biggest German research institutes. They built this robot that produces these wind turbine wings automatically. So you don't need labor, you don't need people to do all that stuff, but it's actually done automatically. And they asked us to make a model of their plant facility in order to do their research and develop their product further. So product development, that's another thing that came up. Then architecture, still, it was there, yes. We got hooked up with actually the first guy we hired. He did an internship with us. Later he went to the German Architect Association, and he told them about that internship with us, and in the end he got us that deal. So we printed 50 models for new architects that were enrolled in the German Architectural Society. And now we do that in the third year, so it became a thing to do that, and it was, of course, it was great exposure for us. Really cool project, and a lot of marketing attention. So that was really cool. So architecture and actually doing competitions, that is another thing that 3D printing was good for. Now, I already told you a little bit our marketing strategy. It shifted a little bit. So one thing we did was fairs. right? So we saw someone said, hey, do you want to come with us to that fair? And we said, yes, of course, let's do that. You see there is Alex. There's our fair stand in the back. It's not that very well visible. We brought some printouts, and it was super small. It was like maybe 2 square meters, but it didn't matter. We were at the fair, people came, they talked to us, they told us what we can do and what they want to do, and that's the best thing to do in the very beginning. It became a little bit more professionally. Here you see we had like a really big fair stand, so already in the beginning it was just a little desk. Later we had bigger fair stands. So, but all that was really fun, and it really helped us to do our marketing purposes. Then of course giving speeches, giving a presentation, giving a speech. So whenever somebody invited any one of us, we went there and we talked, and sometimes there was a customer, sometimes it worked. So it was very good to really just go out there. And then we tried to get a lot of media. So we were actually in an incubator. We won a couple of different prizes, and all that really helped us to be in the media. So this is a blog that wrote about us, that showed, this is the printer that I built a few years ago. It still works, which very surprises me, but so that helped a lot. And then obviously newspapers, we gave some interviews. We've been in newspapers, now also TV, local TV in Berlin. We haven't made it to national TV yet, but that's a challenge for next year. So all that helped in just getting our stuff out there, just to try it out and give it out and so on. And it became more and more professional. However, we decided, okay, all that we do is still a lot of manual work. We take the customer data, we consult him, we change the data, and then we actually send it to a printer, and we started developing software in order to make that easier for us. We started to automatize this process for our own developers, right? So that the 3D guys, they can work faster, they can work better. And at some point we said, okay, maybe we can even commercialize our software. And that was the next step we did. We actually brought all that into a scalable business model, into a software that works automatically. And this is how it works. So first you have the different data. You have the points where 3D data is generated in a CAD program, in a scanner, in a database. And we link these programs, we wrote special plugins in order to link them directly to our platform. Our platform is called 3dbutton.com. Have a look at it, it's free, it's really cool, it helps you a lot, and you can just use it. So all these data is linked automatically to our platform. On the platform, all this data optimization that before was a lot of manual work is done automatically. And then we have different printing companies on there. So we do not have printers. We just give it to someone else's printer. It's a much better business model because you can always have the latest machines, the best technologies. You don't need to invest €1 million in a printer because professional printers, they can cost easily millions. And we add them to our platform, and they basically then have, maybe it's a small company, it has just one printer, maybe it's big companies that have many printers. One of our biggest suppliers in here is actually in Wrocław. So they have, it's called Materialize. They have, I don't know, 30 printers, which each cost more than €1 million. So that's also a reason why we set up the office here in Wrocław. So we send it to them and they print it out. And then, of course, we want to earn a little bit of money. So these guys pay us a commission. We bring them customers, we make them good data, they pay us a commission. Beautiful business model. And that works automatically, no human work involved, just developing the website further and further. Now, of course, when, and this is our vision of the company, we want to connect every 3D source with every 3D printer. And now imagine what 3D sources there can be. It's CAD programs on the top left, it's scanners that can create 3D data, it's databases where you have 3D data stored, it's people scanners, like more and more of these big scanners are evolving, but even also Kinect, for example, is a beautiful 3D scanner, not super detailed, but it's cool, like you can scan yourself and easily print yourself out. And imagine that, it's millions and millions of scanners already out in the world. Now if they have our print button, perfect mix, right? So we need to work on convincing Microsoft to implement it. Then apps like there's phone apps which actually take 10 pictures and then make a 3D model out of that, or Thingiverse, a database where 3D printing data is, or even computer games. My little brother is 12 years old, and actually by now he's more old if he doesn't play that game anymore, but he was 12 years old, and he was a 3D artist. He was creating castles and stuff, and I printed it out for him, so he was the king in his class. No, he has different things in his head, but anyway. So we want to combine all these data sources with 3D printers. And now the marketing aspects of that is really changing. So all this manual marketing that we did before, it doesn't really work that much anymore. Now we have to go online. We have to have ad campaigns. We have to have blogs where we create content so people find us. We have to send mass emails to possible clients and all that. And we just introduced a tool that's called HubSpot, which is the market leader, or well, it's arguable, but we decided it is the market leader, and we started introducing it, and we're running all our campaigns on that. So this is more or less what I wanted to show you, how we set up our company, how we evolved through different stages, how we pivoted, like we changed our direction a couple of times. Always same rough direction, but really finding our way in there, and also changing our marketing strategy as we went forth. And I believe that some of you guys are in different stages, and you want to try out what works and what doesn't. And my advice is just go out and try. Just don't hide in your basement, but go out and sell in whatever way. I showed you a couple. You can do it. You can find others. And the reason I'm here is because our company in Berlin, it grew very, very fast. We're more than 30 people now. But also we set up this branch in Wrocław. And if you are a marketing guy, if you're interested in 3D printing, if you're a software developer, if you're a web designer, then please come talk to me and to Alex. Alex is running more or less the office here, or set it all up. It helps to have a Polish person to do that. So yeah, I'm very happy to be here today, and thanks for your attention, and good talk.